Andrew, who are you and what do you do?
I'm Andrew Edwards. I have been making consumer electronics tutorials, reviews, and tech videos, since 2006.
True or false? You were the 14th ever creator in the YouTube Partner Program.
That is true. And I'll actually tell you how that happened. I just got a phone call one day. I was in the middle of making a video, and I got a phone call. It said, hello. Hey, this is so-and-so from YouTube, and we're starting something called the Partner Program, and we'd like to offer you a spot in it. It was literally, that's how small YouTube was back then. Like, it was a personal phone call. It wasn't even an email. Someone just called me up and told me about the program.
And you said money? Okay.
Yeah, basically. Why not?
Aaron, what do you do at YouTube?
I lead product management for community and also live streaming.
Nice. And you've been a reporter since you were 10 years old, you were saying.
I did start that way. I was on TV as a 10-year-old.
I love that. I love that so much.
What was your beat, though?
Well, did a special interest piece on youth chess champion.
Oh. Now that's a huge YouTube career. It's like a whole vertical that you could explore.
Is.
I know. If only we had YouTube then.
If only had you. So let's talk about communities. YouTube just announced communities at Made on YouTube. We're at the event, recording this now. Tell us about communities.
Sure, Renee. Look, communities are really important to creators on YouTube. You know, when you get advice from new creators, one of the things that we hear is spend time with communities, learn from your fans, get to know them, and that's so important to shaping your channel and your identity and really just having a great connection on YouTube. And so we've built this new communities feature because what we found was that a creator had to start every conversation, whether they're uploading a video or making a post. Everything was creator-led. And what we really wanted was a space where big fans could start conversations. They can share photos. They can talk about their thoughts. And it's in this space where they can go back and forth with each other and the creator can participate and just have a lot more rich interaction around this creator and these shared interests.
Before I joined YouTube, that was one of my biggest requests. And I know some people think, oh, poor creator, you have to start conversations. But there's so many jobs as a creator, and people keep creating new places for us to post. And are you supposed to post in the new one? And who maintains the old one? And just the idea that the community could be part of keeping it like vibrant and fresh all the time was huge for me.
No, that's great, and we're excited to see that. You know, we know there's a big surge in comments and fan interaction right after a video posts. And that's excellent. We love that, but we also want there to be a moment where you don't have to be, as a creator, making that post for that to happen. And so anytime that a fan is inspired or wants to share something, they can help keep things going.
Yeah, I love that. Andrew, you've been in the community's beta.
Yes.
What's it been like for you so far?
It's been interesting. So what you said a minute ago was like, poor creator, you have to make all the posts. I never really felt like that, right? But to use the word community on the community tab as it exists, right? Community is not one person starts everything and then people can just respond to it. That's not a community, in my opinion. A community
it's a broadcast.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyone can contribute. So it wasn't that I felt like, oh, this burden is all on me to make a community happen. It was more, I wish people had an opportunity to commune with each other. Even if I'm at an event and I'm busy all day, right? Let's say there's a big Google event. We're here at this Google event. I'm here all day. I would love for the people who watch my channel to be able to talk to each other about what's happening here while I'm busy doing other things. And that just couldn't happen before. So having a space, and I remember we were talking, it was VidCon. And you said, I think I explained, I said, I wish there was a way that I felt confident that I didn't have to tell people, all right, we're on YouTube. Thanks for watching. Head over to Twitter or head over to Instagram or head over to, insert name of other social network, Discord, whatever it might be, and let's continue the conversation there. Why? YouTube, owned by Google, one of the biggest companies in the world, should be able to give me something that would keep everyone here. And he said, I think I have something for you.
Turns out
we agree completely. Like, we really think that you already have this huge fan base here. Mm-hmm. And so why jump around? Why not make it as easy as possible to keep that conversation going?
Mm-hmm. YouTube thinks creators are the heart of YouTube. And I think creators feel like community is our heart. Yeah. And you were showing me the other day a community that had like sprouted cat pictures that I could not even believe.
Yes, it's you never know, right, what people want to talk about and what they're interested in. But that's part of the fun, is the unexpected directions that we see these creators going. Shout out to Mog Swamp.
Yes.
That's the community where we're seeing this, where for whatever reason, people said, let's post some cat pictures. And we're still seeing that. I even looked today and saw a few fresh ones.
It's amazing. And you never really know. Like, I think on some channels, people will dive deep into the lore, like maybe start threads about things that happened on the channel days ago, weeks ago, years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And others, another example we saw was someone who travels a lot, people sharing their experiences of traveling. Where do you think, like, how do you mostly communicate with your community right now?
Well, right now, the way that I've communicated there has been pretty much similar to when it was just the community tab, which is, if I find something interesting or thoughtful within my niche of consumer electronics, I'll post it there, usually with some sort of image or link if there's something I want to send
Animated
people to.
GIFs are overpowered.
Oh, absolutely. And I don't know if it's because I'm in the beta that these posts get maybe pushed out more to people, but people are more responsive in responding to my posts, I found. So to me, that's a good start. Like, I don't have a bunch of people posting cat pictures or their first smartphones or whatever it might be. Exactly, yeah. But I've seen more activity in responses. So previously, if I would post something, I would see like a lot of people hitting the like button, but not actually like saying anything, just like a bunch of likes on the post. And now I'm seeing more people actually saying stuff. And there are a few who are actually putting their own post there. And I think it's just educating people that they can do that now. I think it's still, again, it was beta.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to incorporate that in the end of my videos, letting people know, hey, by the way, don't just leave a comment down below. If you have your own thoughts or your own opinions or something else to share, use the new community tab.
Is that how you're seeing, or how are you seeing creators use community so far?
Yeah, no, I think that those were some great examples, and we're seeing more too. It's great seeing different channels, seeing their communities light up in different ways. One example is Aquarium Co-op. We see people sharing fish tank setups and talking about those. We've seen fitness channels where people have been really excited to share their journeys and progress photos. And what's been really delightful about that is seeing fans also supporting each other in those journeys. Similarly, there's been a baking channel where we've seen people posting some of their baking triumphs and maybe a few tragedies. But they're bonding over it. They're sharing thoughts with each other, and it's great to see not just the fan and the creator going back and forth, but also fans mixing with each other.
And what sort of features does community have when it launches? What are you going to be able to post? Text, images?
Yeah, it's a great question. We're able to use texts. You can have images in your posts. You can have multiple images, and we don't support videos yet, but it's something we're certainly thinking about. And the important thing is that when you're a viewer, it's audience. So you're sharing this, and it's going to this dedicated space that's associated with that creator, and the people who are going to see that are those other fans.
Yeah. I think there's a myth that when YouTube launches something new, we artificially sort of push it in front of people. But I think it's the opposite. It gets pulled in front of people because there's just not a lot of stuff in it yet. And if you get involved early on, yours is some of the first stuff that people are going to see in it.
That's a great way to put it, and I do think about it the same way. It's when these spaces are newer, it's just there's less in them, and so people who are posting or engaging are in this new space, and so things do get a little more seen.
Yeah, so I never sleep on these things. I always figure when they're new, it's the funnest time to get involved with them.
Absolutely. So are you confirming that is a myth, though?
That is a myth, yeah.
No.
We try not to put our foot on the pedal of anything. We don't want to sort of we want the viewer to choose. We want the viewer to choose what they want to interact with, and we want to give the viewer what they want when they want it on the device that they want it at the time they want it. So in the beginning, like you look at any product, there's just not a lot of stuff yet, but we still have to build a way to get to it.
Sure.
And so if you're going to it, and there's just not a lot of competition yet. So people will say, oh, it's not pushed as much, but it just means now millions of people are using it. Now tens of millions of people are using it. So I guess you get that question a lot, I bet.
We do, and it's always great to get in on the ground floor, but yes, the content has to be good, and then it gets pulled by people.
Yeah. What's the difference between communities and memberships? Because we've gotten that question a bit too.
Yeah, the biggest difference is that this community is a dedicated place where viewers can start conversations. Memberships are a separate feature where you must pay to become a member.
Okay.
And you get a number of great perks from being a member, but it is a very distinct feature right now from community.
Yeah, so community is like a forum where we can discuss things, and membership is sort of like a content area.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
perfect.
Andru, you asked some great questions. Might those two things have overlaps one day?
So how do you envision, you already said you might put this in your videos, but what is your sort of like growth strategy for communities in general? How do you is it something you put a lot of effort into? Do you want to grow a really big community? Is it 1,000 true fans thing?
I do want to. Well, I think, and it's not even really for me personally, although I would love to see the community grow. I think it's really more as a platform and as someone who uses YouTube as an essential component of my livelihood. I want to see community grow there, and I want people to just have the thought as a viewer, I can contribute too, right? Right now, YouTube is, in order to contribute, if you're not a video creator, you can leave comments. That's pretty much it, right? That's your contribution, is to leave a comment on a video that may or may not be seen by the creator. Usually, when you post a comment, you're hoping it's the creator who sees it, although obviously other commenters can see it. Now, with communities, you can literally commune and post with others regardless of if the creator sees it or not. And maybe you still may want the creator to see it and respond too, but you can almost be, a superstar or a sidekick in a way to the creator by being active in their community. People will get to know you from that community as well, right? So I would love to see people feel that they can also contribute more meaningfully. Not that comments aren't meaningful, but post your pictures, post your your GIFs, if videos are allowed to be posted, post those, and really like latch into a community and commune there, almost like people do on Reddit. Like there's subreddits people love, and they, if you're not a mod, you can still get like different flares, and basically you get recognized as a contributing member of this community on Reddit. And I would love to see something like that on YouTube too.
Yeah. Is there maybe a continuum here? Because we've seen with shorts, for example, there are more people who may not want to make like a long form video, but they want to participate. They want to have their voice heard. And maybe in previous generations, they would have gone to forums to do that. And then next they might have posted on social media. And now maybe that they do want to actually like talk and be on shorts, but maybe they need a little bridge into that world, and communities could be a place to start.
Communities can be a good place for that, especially for photos and posts. And what it does let you do is get your ideas out into the world with this friendlier audience. We see great examples of fandom content on YouTube having its own life and going wild, and it's so amazing. And a community is a great place where people who are newer to that and maybe want to test the waters can try these posts in that slightly smaller setting.
Mm-hmm. So one of the other questions that we get a lot from creators is the sense of safety about, are the comments a safe space for me? Communities, how are you thinking about safety when it comes to communities?
Safety is a really, really high priority for us. And first and foremost, by being a community and having this smaller audience, it is just a little bit more of a safer space by nature of going out a little less broadly. But of course, that's necessary but not sufficient. So we also are investing quite heavily in moderation tools, and really it's community powered, but it is a creator owned space. And so as a creator driving a community, you are able to moderate that content. You are able to decide if a post should stay or not, regardless of whether you created it or it was a member of your community, not unlike comments on your videos.
Who can post in communities now? Is it anybody on YouTube can post in communities, or are there just certain people per channel?
Yeah, so right now the way we've built communities is that you do need to be a subscriber of a channel in order to post. And we're really thinking carefully about who should be able to post and why, and how to make that clear.
How do you balance that, right, with, as a creator, and I'm sure many creators want to be able to kind of set the tone, set the rules, et cetera, for their community, with, as the contributor or as the viewer, as the non-creator, having a consistent experience from community to community, right? How do you balance those two things?
Sure. So automated tools, things we do with AI, protections, YouTube's policies. There's a lot of things that will be universal and foundational to safety and your experience in any community on YouTube. Beyond that, we do actually want in the balance of things, the creator to be able to set the tone of their space. Because it really is theirs. It's associated with their identity, their channel. If you're taking the time to nurture a community and a community is forming around your content, then we do believe it should have that imprint. And so there will be some variation. And we see that in other products in YouTube today, like Live, and we think it works. And so we're optimistic that fans will get to know spaces they choose to be in and understand what works and what doesn't.
So you're not worried about it needs to be consistent when you hit the community tab, no matter what channel you're on. It has to be the same experience. You like the fact that we as creators can customize and have our own. That's cool.
Yeah, it's important. I think it's a part of your expression as a creator.
Yeah, and I think that's how comments work today. And I think also different, correct me if I'm wrong about this, but different channels and creators set different expectations. Like a channel that might be about free speech absolutism might never moderate anything because that's the point of the channel, and that their viewers and their commenters see that as they would see that as incongruous experience if they did. Where another channel might be incredibly topic based, we don't want off topic comments. We want to focus on this one fandom or this one subject. Maybe you only want to have tech stuff and you moderate things that are off topic. And someone else might be we want this space to be very inclusive of these ideals and anything that doesn't follow these ideals. And you get to sort of craft the experience that represents you as a creator in your channel. And we don't punish anybody for moderating more or less in their community or their channel. The algorithm shouldn't have an opinion on that. That should be up, I think, to the creator and their safety levels.
Do you think it makes sense that a creator might say, I only want people who are members to be able to post in this community? Or that the community may become more forum-like, where instead of just one tab, the members have this area and then there's this public area. And I don't care if you're a subscriber or not, feel free to post. Again, being able to craft who can participate.
Yeah, it's early days for us, and I think we want to see what works with the current volley features. All the ideas you suggested are really interesting. I think it's fascinating to think about. Could members have a different experience? Could you tailor the experience more with a few different places or rooms, or with different ways of being? And we're thinking about it.
If someone was trying to find communities, where would they go?
So the best way to find communities is to go to a creator's channel, and then there's actually a large button with some explanation around it explaining here's how you can go to the community, and that will take you out to that dedicated space. We also try to, if you are active on a creator's channel, we do try to have some content show up and ways to help you see glimpses of that community from your feed and elsewhere.
Yeah, I see you in my home feed. You're welcome.
Do you? Fair enough. Nice.
I do. Where do you see, I know you can't do any spoilers, but what is your grand vision for communities?
Yeah. Oh, spoiler, please.
Let me just lay out a quick 5-year roadmap.
Yeah.
So look, when we think about community, it's really about, as much as possible, making YouTube for everyone go from a one-way experience to a two-way experience. We want to foster participation. We want to foster interactivity. And we want to do that in a way that's supportive of creators who want it and in the way that they want it.
I'm going to get into the nitty-gritty a little bit here. What is your best tip for creators who want, because I just want to say for a second, you have an ability to convert people like I've never seen. And you're well known for this industry. Regardless of, some people require tons and tons of views to do business on YouTube. Just to be honest about it. You don't. You have videos that have various sizes of audience. And you still manage to monster business on YouTube. What is your secret when it comes to community?
I've heard this question quite a few times, and my first answer is always I don't know. But after thinking about it for so long,
or is it not true that you made major bank off bidets?
Well, yes. So I did a review of a very high tech bidet, right leading into COVID, and so all of a sudden people were searching for this, and this video would just come up, not just on YouTube, but in Google searches. In Google search, my video would be the top, even above bidet companies for some reason, and that turned into a 6-figure earnings just from that video.
Yeah.
But I honestly think there's a way of culling an audience, right? And not so much like someone comes in and you kick them out because you don't belong, but really more your communication style, how you present. You know, there's so much to it. Even like the words you use, right? A lot of people will say, to get the biggest audience, use a 5th grade reading level type speech, right?
It's
like
true.
For me, I it's not that I don't want the biggest audience possible, but it's really more I want the right audience. I want the audience that I would legitimately want to invite into my living room to have a conversation about the stuff that I'm passionate about. And that's probably not going to be a 15-year-old kid. So I really think about how I communicate and who I'm communicating to. The camera is a person to me, and who that person is kind of how I think about it. And those people who I am communicating to are also kind of like me. You know, back in the day, I'm first in line at the Apple store when, you know, the iPhone 4 is coming out, which means I got here at 9 p.m. last night, and I've just been here for 13 hours, right? So those are the people, like those are my people.
Yeah.
And so I'm a high converting person, right? So like the companies can get me if I get excited about something. And so those are the same people who I want to attract.
Yeah. Aaron, any tips that you've found so far for people using communities? Any sort of pro tips?
Yeah, I do think a couple things do come to mind. You know, it is that definitely listen and engage with your community. I think that it's always fascinating to see, you know, who's engaged, who and why. I think the other thing we're seeing just in the earliest days of testing fan communities, this communities feature is you know, the more reasons you can give someone to post or contribute, it's a great way to seed the community and sort of nudge it in a direction if you have some ideas. And not every nudge will work, and it's a bit of an experimentation. But we do see, you know, that people get used to some style of posting and they see it works, and then more fans start to do it more too. So if you can plant those seeds and experiment with prompts, I think it's a great way to sort of till the earth to help make it a fertile place to grow a community.
Yeah, establish your meme reviews in communities. Andrew, what would you like to see in community? Like, now that you've been using communities for a while, what else would you like to see with them?
I think, I mean, you are leading communities and live.
Yes.
Right? So I think there's one thing I would love to see in communities is that live chat component. Like when you have a live video or when you're doing a premiere, right? You have the live chat where people can interact with each other there. That feels like a natural feature to the community tab for me. It's almost like having a mini Discord or a mini Slack on your channel. Also I forget what they're called now, but when you're live and you're a member, you have like
Badges, the emojis?
Yes, like the custom badges, the custom emojis, things like that to just make the community area a little more fun. Maybe you can earn badges or things that you can post with that other people don't have yet because they haven't participated as much.
Create that FOMO.
Exactly, and it just get people, you know, it's gamifying the experience, I think, which, you know, quite honestly, the whole reason that word exists is because it works. So like letting me gamify a little bit. Hey, we have this upcoming event or this upcoming device is coming out. Here's my, you know, here's my challenge that I'm setting out to my community, and, you know, have at it and then earn something for it.
And how nice is it to be recognized? If you're one of the people helping to make this thing go and make it happen, it's nice to have some decoration, some way for the creator and for others to know, hey, this person's on it. They're part of it.
Yes.
And I know like it's not the chat experience, but I do think communities gives creators that stable place where people can go and create threads for them, which we've never had before on YouTube. So even if I'm not posting a video that day, I'm not live that day, you can still go and start your own thread there, and the community just keeps going, which I love. Aaron, thank you so much. Andrew, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much for joining us. You know what to do. If you have a comment or question, just leave it down below and keep it real.